A view now from flyover country in the U.S. In fact, that's the title of Sarah Kendzior's book of essays on America. She's a writer based in St. Louis, Missouri. She also writes op-ed pieces for the Globe and Mail. Here's her perspective on the mood in America.
There's been a shift countrywide. I think that some people thought that Trump would be a different kind of president than he is. I think they were under the illusion that he would somehow become presidential, that he wouldn't carry out the actual policies that he had ran on, which are autocratic and repressive policies. He did. I think that some folks who voted for him in Missouri thought he was going to help them economically, that he was going to do things he'd promised, like build an infrastructure program to provide jobs, for example. He hasn't done any of that. I think a lot of people in Missouri are in the same position that they were before. We are suffering economically, and I think that there's no indication from him that he has any interest in how we're doing here. When he came to Springfield, Missouri last month, first of all, after a hurricane hit, and he still came to Springfield to talk about tax cuts for the wealthy. That's not really something that American citizens are clamoring for, but that's what he prioritizes. People are exhausted, people are sad, people are scared. A lot of that has to do with the response to these natural disasters that we've had, to fires in the West, to hurricanes devastating Florida and Texas, and especially Puerto Rico. I think that people are frightened by this and by the pace of climate change, and that we have a government that's not addressing it. We, of course, have a very temperamental president, one whose Twitter account makes people wonder if it's going to accidentally set off nuclear war. That's a problem we haven't had to deal with before. We have the healthcare issue where people are constantly calling their representatives and asking them, not to allow them to die. It's a series of problems. But despite that, I do see a lot of determination. I see resilience. I see people standing up and fighting back, and more civic engagement than I have in the past. So if there's an upside, it's that.